My name is Kerry Jane Wilson, and I'm the director of Zardozi, which is a local Afghan NGO. I came to Afghanistan in 1996. I had been 16 years in Bangladesh before that, setting up an NGO with a group of Bangladeshis, and by 1996 the NGO was flourishing, so I decided to move on, and Afghanistan seemed like a different kind of place to visit. Bangladesh is flat and heavily populated, and I found myself for 2 years in the mountains of Badakhshan, where there were very few people and very beautiful mountains. So I enjoyed that. I suggested that I would set up a local NGO, and we called it Zardozi, and for the first few years there were no salaries and no money, and we were running it on the income from the shop in Peshawar and the shop in Pakistan. Finally, our plan was to have donor funding and to start working with poor and uneducated Afghan women, linking them to local markets. In other words, the same principle as the shop, employing women with skills but not linked to the shop. And we finally got some funds to do that around 2008, and basically here we are 7 years later with donor funded projects and working with around 6,000 women. So we've set up community business centers, all the women who've been trained by us, and we now work with directly with around 3,500 women. All those women have a community business center within walking distance of their house. And at the community business center, in return for a small fee, they can access a lot of the services that they need. Primarily, we work in the jobs or the businesses that women are traditionally engaged in, but that is still where the market lies. For example, a large proportion of Afghan women have their clothes made by a tailor. They do not buy off the peg clothes. So of course tailoring is a huge market. But for women to actually make a living from tailoring, they're in competition with male tailors who are in the commercial bazaar areas, whereas the women, most of them, 70% of them, do have to stay at home. So our community business centers within walking distance for those women, for example, help them to compete with male tailors. For example, cutting clothes is a difficult skill. So we help them for a small fee within the community business center. They can get clothes cut by a tailor who makes a living from selling cutting services. They can also get, if they lose their orders or they want to move into a new business, they can get advice, they can get credit, they can access different savings options. They can be taken on a tour of different markets so that they can choose, they get help with product development. There's a lot of things available through community business centers. What we have found is that once a woman's got her own income, it is a very powerful drive for empowerment. And we find that even just attending the community business center gives women increased agency. They have increased mobility, decision-making powers in the home, etc. And we are at the moment carrying out research to see whether we can actually quantify some of these empowerment results that we are seeing.